Welcome to What's What with Benji. I'm Benji, obviously, and alongside me I've got Kendall, the Caucasian Cannon Cooper. How's it going?
What's up? No, it's good. Glad to be here.
Yeah, we're
okay.
glad.
Okay.
This is the most exciting episode. It's more exciting than the Sky City Convention Centre going up in flames. And the country's in mourning after, the All Blacks are...
It's still burning. Everything's burning down.
It's still burning down. Oh, yeah, the Sky City Convention Centre's burning down.
Still going.
All Blacks are burning down from their loss. And, to be honest, I was actually wanting the All Blacks to lose.
So,
it's very controversial.
So you jinxed it, and
yeah,
now we're making boxing great again.
Well, the thing is that I wanted the All Blacks to lose because they always win, as people always say.
Yeah,
that.
I kind of took it for granted.
And when you cross credit that to boxing, it's like when Vladimir Klitschko was champion for 10 years.
Yeah.
And a lot of people said that the heavyweight division was boring. Yeah. So
Now to mix it up.
Mix it up.
Stir things up.
Yeah, exactly.
Stir the pot, mix it up.
And now rugby is interesting again because we lost.
Yeah, and I missed out on my sweepstake at work. Anyway, moving right along.
Moving right along. Okay, second episode, I should say. So, we're going to talk about you at the moment.
What? You never said this was coming up.
Oh,
okay.
well, let's talk about you. So let's talk about your career because you originally wanted to go into kickboxing, but you decided to go into boxing instead.
Watching kickboxing for 5 years, they make it look easy.
And you realise it wasn't?
It's not easy.
But throwing punches is.
No, that's hard, and that's what made me realise after doing one boxing lesson that I would never have been ready for a kickboxing bout. But then I just had another boxing lesson and stuck at it, and then fought 3 months later, and then the rest is history. Moving on. What's the next topic?
We're not done with you yet.
Okay.
So you. Before you turned pro, you had quite a bit of corporate fights, quite a bit of amateur fights, and you sparred with a lot of people. I think Junior Farr at one point, was that right?
Totally, yes.
Smiley, you fought Smiley and sparred with Smiley.
Yes.
Charles Lumbus, Adrian Tai here.
David Light. Working away. Yep.
You're
working way down.
Quite knowledgeable inside the ring, outside the ring, and after quite a good run, you've decided to kind of do supportive role in boxing now.
Yes. Giving back to a sport that gave me so much strength and growth over the last 10 years thereabouts. So I think back when I first started boxing, there was a prerequisite of only having one corporate fight before you could go into amateur. So, and then my second corporate fight was just because the guy didn't want to do amateur, so I was able to luckily have 2 corporate fights before doing amateur, and that would have been 10 years ago, when I was 29, and then having the 2 corporates, and then having 11 amateur fights, and then coming back into the fold because you had to turn pro when you turned 34. So I turned 34, I couldn't do amateur anymore, and then I think 6 months later they changed the age bracket of 34 to 40, but I'd already had maybe 1 or 2 more corporate fights, so therefore I couldn't go back to amateur because I'd had too many corporates and too many of the judges knew me, or they would know my record, or they would know my experience. So couldn't go back to corporate. I was helping out a few shows. Last minute bouts would come up. I think I had an hour's notice to fight Smiley. So that was an awesome experience.
And you ended up winning that fight? Yeah,
that turned out to be a win. We did shorter rounds.
That was at the netball courts in the North Shore. And with an hour notice against Smiley, it's actually quite incredible.
Yeah, I had been doing what was called a 30-day squat challenge, so I'd never done those squat challenges. So I was doing a little bit of fitness, a little bit of strength work. Some of those squat challenges you work up to doing 200 squats in a day, that sort of thing. So it keeps you active, and I'd always sort of stay close to the fitness, being active, doing sparring. I've probably done about 4,000 rounds sparring over the years, so that's what I've liked doing the most. And every now and again it'd been fitting in fights.
I think you could actually Facebook search that fight as well if someone wants to search that up.
It's been shown a couple of times.
Yeah. So I understand that after, or actually even during boxing, you've got a bit of a hobby of trying new things, especially foods.
What have you heard? Yes.
Energy
Drinks.
I've brought a couple of American food with me today.
Okay.
So this has got everything to do with boxing.
I believe in earning your cheat days. So you've got to put in the hard work, and then you can have a few cheat days, but that doesn't work out over time.
This is very ironic because these are straight mints from America. There's nothing straight about me.
Straight mints.
So these are the classic mints kind of thing. Here you go.
Okay. They're not hot.
No.
They're
not hot. Not like
red chilies.
cinnamons. Yeah. Do you want one?
Okay.
They're for you at home.
Starlight mints. Okay. I've had mints before, but I don't know if I've had that brand.
Starlight mints. I thought they're straight mints.
Oh, is that what you're reading out? Okay, yeah. Starlight. So
no, I misread it.
Yeah, I'm just here to correct Benji.
Yeah.
So letting Benji go on about whatever he's going on about.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
new life experience.
Yeah. So you got like your little lolly there, and
yeah.
and later on we'll try something new once we've actually finished this lolly. But let's move on for now.
Move on.
So the first topic for boxing, apart from food, is that we've got Geovana Peres to announce a world title defense. This is actually something that came from Mayhem Boxing Team. It says in a couple of weeks there should be some exciting news against a big name in boxing for Geovana Peres.
How long ago was that?
This
a week ago ish.
Within the last week.
Thereabouts. Yep.
So there's pretty breaking news.
Teasers.
Teasers. So teasers. So we're going to. I got like 3 possible options that I think this could be.
Guesstimating.
I'm guesstimating. I got a reason why.
Okay.
I shouldn't have actually had this line now that I'm thinking about it, because it's just hanging out in my mouth like
easy for me.
Easy for me because I'm doing all the talking.
Yes.
But before you show off my guess, do you have a guess of who you want?
No, I haven't investigated that. I'm just happy with anything being set up. Moving forward, the next defence, whether it's in New Zealand or overseas.
I'm pretty sure it will be in New Zealand because they have this 3-fight deal with Bruce Glossier.
Okay.
This is the first fight deal started with Claire Hafner, so they've still got another 2 to go.
Oh, 2 to go. Okay. So they'd be guaranteed for New Zealand unless the money was right.
I don't know what was in the agreement, so they could probably allow international bouts overseas.
Okay.
I know it's their long-term goal to take on Claire Hafner in the future, but let's go for my first option.
Again.
Not Claire Hafner, sorry. This is why he's here.
Clarissa Shields.
Yeah, Clarissa Shields. They all want to fight Clarissa Shields.
Okay.
So
and
first option.
She's light heavyweight. Okay, but who's your first guess?
Annie Mazzarol.
Okay. Her.
Yeah. She was ranked number 1 at one point in BoxRec, but not for very long. She has actually beaten Claire Hafner.
She's fought her twice.
Okay,
lost to her
once and defeated her.
What's the difference? 3 months later.
Yeah.
Okay, she lost to her and then beat her 3 months later.
And it's interesting because they both like majority and split decision wins and losses.
Okay. So the majority, someone called it a draw. Yep.
I do understand that Claire Hafner, if she won the fight against Geovana, that they would have gone for a rematch against Annie as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's interesting. So it would have been like a similar Geovana versus Lani Daniels, where for them it'll be Annie Mazzarol. Very sorry if I mispronounced that, against Claire Hafner.
Mazzarol. Yeah,
now,
something like that. So she's had more fights and she's better than Claire Hafner. So Geovana's moving on up in the world, taking on the next.
This is my guess.
Okay.
This is my guess. I don't know if this is actually correct, but Annie is ranked, and I can't remember if it's WBC or WBA. She's ranked number 2 in BoxRec overall. You can see her rankings on the side there.
Why Canada?
What?
Is that just a coincidence that a few fighters, there's more active fighters in Canada right now?
I think it's just the collective. Well, she's actually she's had quite a long career. She started in 2012.
35. Cool.
So I think this is a pretty good option. I actually said that this should probably happen because like she's defeated Claire, so she should move on to someone that has. So Geovana should fight someone who's defeated Claire.
Yep. Why was there a no contest?
Don't know. I wasn't there.
So 11 fights. Cool.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So next option. So Savannah Marshall from Britain.
The Silent Assassin. I like that name.
She's actually normally in the super middleweight division.
Okay.
You can move over here. She's actually quite a bit of fight. She's fought in both America, the UK, and Hungary. Hungary? Is that Hungarian? I don't know. Excuse me.
Fight in Hungary.
I need to know my geography more. She's won a few titles in the amateur division. She's won a Commonwealth Games gold medalist in 2014 Glasgow.
So she could handle herself, but is she coming up to light heavyweight, or is she?
No, this
is just a guess. It's just hypothetical.
This is a guess. But I do understand that the WBO
28
wanted this opponent instead of Claire Hafner originally.
Okay.
So for this to be instead of, of Claire Hafner would have been good. This would be a very good test for Geovana because she's obviously very skillful, had a lot of fights.
Yeah. A bit younger and lighter, so you got a bit. Geovana's that. Yeah, she's got that grit to just keep moving forward. Bigger punches potentially with the slight weight advantage, maybe height advantage. I'm not too sure. And
managed by McKenzie, which is I think the same manager for Tyson Fury, isn't it?
Oh, okay.
Am I right there or?
McKenzie? Never heard of it.
No, okay.
We'll see.
Yeah. And my last option, well, I couldn't pick one for my third option, so I decided to pick two. So I've got, I can't even pronounce her name, I'm so terrible. Alejandra Jimenez. She is a former WBO heavyweight champion. She's never lost. She had one draw.
Heavyweight champion?
Yeah, sorry, not WBO, I should say WBC. Former WBC heavyweight champion. She didn't lose her title by losing it. She lost it by forfeiting
the time.
There's the
not
time.
Fighting within the time period.
And she wanted to move down a division.
Oh, okay. So she does want to be light heavyweight, or she has fought.
Oh no, she's moving into the super middleweight division.
Oh wow.
So
Okay.
this would be a good test. She was number one for a very long time.
Yeah. You'd normally have a bit of experience in as many weight divisions as possible if you're coming down, not jump down, 2 or 3 in one go.
And I made the suggestion that this fight should have happened. She could have put her WBC heavyweight title on the line. And Geovana could have put her WBO title on the line, have a double title fight. But it ended up that she had to lose her title because of inactivity in that division. So
isn't one a heavyweight and the other is a light heavyweight?
But in the major force, I think there's 2 of them that don't recognise the light heavyweight division, so they kind of...
Oh, you could put them in one,
exactly.
for one fight. Okay.
Exactly. So the reason why I chose Larissa Rivers Wallace... Now...
Larissa.
Only reason why I picked her is that I saw a comment that she said for the WIBA, which is the Women International Boxing Association, which before the major titles were doing women's fights, that was actually the main title for the women's division, for the world title.
Okay.
Which I believe Daniela Smith actually fought for at one point. She actually made a comment towards that...
I'll fight anybody. Anyone, anywhere. Oh, okay.
No, she made a comment towards that sanctioning body saying that, because that sanctioning body said, should we bring back the light heavyweight division? And she said, yes, we have Geovana Peres that's in that division.
Yep.
So... Maybe there could be a possibility because she's keeping an eye on Geovana, so there's a possibility that's the next option.
Yeah.
There's also the fact I know that she's got a fight booked for the WBC vacant world title in the heavyweight division.
Heavyweight, okay.
But that fight was actually originally for the beginning of October. Now it's postponed to today, actually. But even the WBC don't actually 100% know if it's still actually happening. So
she's just doing she's doing a heavyweight fight because a light heavyweight isn't available to her in that area or in that sanctioning body.
She regularly fights in the heavyweight division anyway, but she has fought in those lower weight classes before.
Yeah, and I know from my experience when you're training a lot, you do lose a bit of weight, or it's hard to keep the weight on unless you're putting in that extra effort.
So what do you think are those 4 options?
The first one.
And any
That's
more?
because then they'll be more familiar with it. It's like, recognising that would be a good choice, I think. They overlap. Because they've fought each other. Yeah. And she's better
with Claire Hafner.
She's beaten Claire Hafner. You would be able to justify it as a better opponent, and it'd be pushing Geovana. So, yeah,
that'll be a good option.
Good defense.
Any of these 4. Let us know what you think.
Nothing official.
Nothing is official. This is all hypothetical. But let us know what you think should be out of those 4.
All in his made-up world.
Or if you have any other suggestions that Geovana should fight. Next topic. We're going to review the fight of Alrie Meleisea versus Sarah Long 2.
Yeah, they've already fought.
They've fought. This is the second time they fought. It was a 4-rounder that happened on the September 28th, 2019. These girls have, they're friends outside the ring, but there's a little bit of a grudge between those two because in the first fight, a lot of people thought that Sarah was robbed. In the second fight, they thought that...
It was a draw?
It was a draw, and they thought that both girls got robbed in a way, and a lot of people thought that Sarah got robbed again. But it was very controversial because of the scoring, because 2 of the judges were going all 4 rounds different ways.
Yeah. One judge gave it one way. The other judge gave it the other way.
Again, all 4 rounds.
All 4 rounds, and then the middle judge gave it, a draw. So 38 points each.
Yeah. And it's quite controversial because I've seen the video, thanks to Gladrap. You should put, this is a good moment just to put the video
a tag,
a link
to watch it. See what you think.
Watch a little highlight here.
It's hard for judging from a different angle because you got to remember that the judges are looking at one perspective. So I was nearly going to think that different judges may see different fights, but they should still be able to recognise scoring shots, ring craft, defense, and all of the contributing factors that the judges should be looking for. So,
I mean, every single person I've spoken to regarding this did not think that any of the boxers won each and every single round. Personally, I think the draw was fair, so I'm fine with that result. But I wasn't happy with the end of the judging in the end because of how dramatic the difference is. Yeah. And there's been controversy around this fight before. This fight, again, probably should have actually been an 8-round fight instead of 4 rounds, but this was only on a week's notice for Alrie, where Sarah was actually was due to fight in a kickboxing fight, but
fight fit, ready to go.
And so she was pretty fight fit already. So
work out why 5 rounds could be good, just to have that odd number instead of having 4 rounds or 6 rounds, and then they could win like 2 rounds each or 3 rounds each. If you had an odd number, then there'd be a less chance of a draw. Yes, but on the day, that's just how the cookie crumbled.
Well, they should have a rematch. Terry, Sarah's trainer, is very particular on who judges it. So and not just who judges it, I mean who promotes it as well. Okay. Because he feels he's got a lot of conspiracy theories that people like to fix the scores. Or fix the rankings as well. So he's very particular who promotes it, who judges it. So it makes it very difficult for the fight to actually happen.
Which is understandable if you don't know certain things, but we can always be here to, ask the question, get an answer, and if you don't like the answer, get it built up by somebody else. But people that look after Boxrec can't change the ranking. We just put in the scores. Yes. And judges on the night, they're seeing their angle, but there was some good points brought up that I think if there's any score that's sort of debated, then those judges couldn't come together after the fact and view the fight again, and see what each of them are looking at.
The thing is, what's next for these girls? I mean, eventually they should have a rematch, but even if Sarah won the fight, they would have to have another rematch up after that, because Alrie's already won against Sarah. Well, won in a draw against Sarah. So if Sarah won, they're kind of like 1-1-1. So they
okay.
need to like kind of like
One draw one.
Yeah, one
Okay.
draw, one each. So someone need, even if Sarah won, she would have to fight one more time just
Yep.
to.
Oh, this would be a big fight for Lani.
What the?
Lani and Tessa. So this
Yes.
fight and Lani and Tessa, that would be a massive, like the ultimate decider.
Yes.
Instead of ultimate rage, we can have ultimate decider.
That would be a good fight. Just have like Lani and Tessa, and like yeah. I know that Sarah Long's having a bit of a break at the moment over the summer.
She's having a whole week off and then get back into full-time training.
I think she's actually having the rest of a year off.
Okay.
She mostly.
That's what she's saying.
Oh,
That's what she's telling us. But no,
Sarah is mainly a kickboxer
on the grind.
then a boxer. So she spends from like last couple of years, I've noticed she only has like one fight a year in boxing and mostly fights in kickboxing.
Okay.
So she's not progressing her boxing career that much. Where Alrie's, when she's actually got another fight booked, she's fighting Ashley Campbell in December, and it's for the New Zealand title.
Heavyweight title.
Yep, heavyweight title.
Which sanctioning body?
That's Pro
NZ.
Box.
Oh, Pro Box. Yep.
Yeah, Pro Box NZ.
Cool.
On Craig Thompson's show, which we should be talking about next week, but
Okay.
and after that should Alrie wants to actively wants to be in boxing, so
Get back in there and stay in there.
yeah. All right, next topic.
Does that light need to be on?
Yeah, always the light that comes off. Have you finished your little mint thing?
No.
No, you're still on the mint. All right.
There's holes in it though.
Yeah, I noticed
getting
that the mint always gets like a little bit spiky and like get holes in it when it melts in your mouth.
Yep.
So next topic is Bowyn Morgan successfully defends his WBU World title against against
Against a big name or against a long name.
Yeah, against
that would have been one to watch.
Yeah. So
I'd seen Bowyn's posts of his build up. His he was fight fit, ready to go. The focus was all there, and it all falls into place in the second round.
I know that Bowyn was a little bit disappointed because he wanted a fight that would actually last the full 12 rounds.
Yeah.
He said that on Facebook that he wished that he had a bit of more of a challenge, but he was happy with the run and he was happy with the opponent that came out all this way to put on the show.
Yeah, you want to showcase your skills when you put in so much work.
Mm-hmm.
You do want to get the win, but you also just want to have it all fall into place and be able to really show different sides of your training.
Yeah. So there was a little bit of controversy surrounding, not the controversy as the fight itself or anything happened like that, but this.
Oh, you would know.
No, I would.
Takes one to
I
know
would
one.
know.
Yeah.
So I understand
Which means
that
there wasn't any controversy.
So
What are you making up?
So I understand that Phil Shatford,
Okay.
the trainer for Bowyn Morgan and the promoter of the night, he had the option to have this fight as a WBO Asia Pacific title, which is actually quite a major regional title. This title was held by David Tours, held by a lot of New Zealand boxers as well. And this title guarantees you top 15 in the world in WBO. And once you got those WBO titles, or any of the major four, you are recognised internationally.
Yeah. Avenues.
But he said that instead of paying for, he wanted to make more of a profit on the show, so he decided not to go down that avenue, even though it would have progressed Bowyn's career. So what do you think?
Pay that sanctioning body. It comes back to if it makes sense, it makes dollars, and depending on the show. I've heard of a number of shows just breaking even. So, and he's put on a few shows, but each their own. Until I do shows, I'm not going to say anything. So that's involved.
I do understand that his shows are pretty successful in Christchurch. They always sell out. So I don't think it was the money was the issue. I think he just wanted to make more money on the show, particularly.
But the option is that but there's going to be other opportunities for Bowyn in the future. So that choice, will definitely be able to come up.
But
and he's working towards it.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's going to be limited options because he is, his time clock is ticking. He's like, how old? 32? No?
Yep. No, so he's fine. He's got ages.
Well, some people say he's got ages. I mean,
Yeah.
Joseph Parker said he wanted to finish his career at the age of 32.
Yeah.
I know some boxers can go beyond that, some boxers can't, but you're still in those 30s. Your time clock will start to be ticking of when do you want to finish and when you want to start. And he fought an amateur, so he's been boxing for quite a long time as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's not just a simple,
I guess when you put it that way. But I think if he's involved in the discussion, he can influence it and understand the situation. And if there's a bout worth getting, then I would pay the money to make it happen. But it could be on the cards for the next.
Well, if the title's still available,
true. But for next year, otherwise something else will come up.
Yeah, because this is the title that you any of the major four.
You need to get in there. Yeah.
You need to get in there to get recognised on the rankings, to get recognised on Wikipedia as well, because you can't actually get a Wikipedia page without either top 15 ranking or a regional title.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, moving quite along. You finished with your
What have we got? A third to go.
I want to show you the other option.
Why? Oh, okay. Oh,
yeah.
It's gone then. Bring it up.
All right. So, as we take this mini break,
yeah,
we go Chips Ahoy.
Is it like chips? Okay.
Yeah.
What are they doing there?
So it's chocolate chip cookie. My husband was very adamant that I should try this, and I tried it. It was amazing. Yeah. By the way, you can get these two products from Martha's Vineyard.
Oh, that's what. But Martha's Backyard.
That Martha's Backyard. By the way, this show is not sponsored by Martha's Backyard.
World famous. It's sponsored by Gladrap.
It's sponsored by Gladrap. Okay, so Chips Ahoy, do you want one?
Do these compete with Ultimate? Have you seen the Australian cookies?
Ultimate
cookie? That is a cookie.
That is definitely a cookie. I mean, I think we should show the people at home quite closely. I'll just come over here.
That's pretty good. Now I'm going to have to train this afternoon.
That's a cookie right here.
That's a cookie. Well, it's a small cookie.
It's a small cookie. It's delicious.
Some of the new ones point out the percent of chocolate, like 40% Hershey's chocolate and stuff like that. But these seem like a good chunk.
No.
Awesome, thank you.
Unfortunately, it's not gluten-free, so my husband can have any.
Chips Ahoy. Oh, more for us. Family size.
Yeah, it's family size. You can't get a normal size in New Zealand.
Okay.
We can get massive size. All right, next topic. Patrick Mailata, thank you. Had his third professional win in Canada, so...
His first was in New Zealand?
His first was in New Zealand.
And second was in
the
overseas?
States. Yeah, in the States. Okay. And his third in Canada, which is very interesting because so far he's had a win in each different country.
Yeah, how many fight options come up in Canada for New Zealanders?
Yeah, exactly.
That's good context.
I think the last time a New Zealander fought in Canada was actually Robert Berridge fighting... I forgot his name. We'll add it later. Fought against a guy, I think it was WBC silver champion in the light heavyweight division at the time. He
silver Commonwealth or something like that, or silver.
That's WBC silver title.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And Berridge, I think, didn't win the fight, but he gave it a good go.
Yep, got in there. Opportunity.
So
Patrick won.
Good boost for him in his career.
Yep.
Obviously, everyone knows him as the bronze medalist in the last Commonwealth Games.
Yep.
Was the last Commonwealth? Yeah, it was the last Commonwealth Games, wasn't it? Yes. And we're looking forward to seeing more of him. I know he had a bit of a break between his first and second professional fight.
How long? Like a year? Or less? It was less than a year.
It was less than a year, but it was quite a bit of time.
Oh yeah, because normally when people jump in, they jump in strong. And it would be like 3 months apart or 4 months apart,
or sometimes just a month apart.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
but he's got an American manager and promoter, so he's regularly being active in America and Canada. So I'm looking forward to what he's going to happen next.
So you're expecting
good things from him.
Next bout to be overseas again?
Oh yeah, I'd probably say his next fight will be February or March. Just a guess.
Yeah.
But this is his first win in a decision win, not a knockout, which is good because good to get the rounds in.
Yeah. Get the experience before moving on to the next.
Yeah, exactly.
And then come back and normally I found New Zealand fighters would get a bout in New Zealand before going overseas, so he might be doing it the other way around, but he could come back whenever and take over.
He did have one bout in New Zealand, just the one bout, and it was against Jason Eloise.
Eloise, yeah.
Yeah, on
Eloise.
Was it Shane Cameron's show?
On his first fight, so his first fight he went for a bout.
Well, no, not a bout, just the first fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, but he should be getting a New Zealand belt.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Not just a bout, but yeah.
Oh, he could come back for a New Zealand bout anyway. He was born in Samoa, raised in New Zealand, and now he lives and fights in America, so...
Yeah. Oh, he lives over there. Okay, then that makes a difference. Yeah. Awesome. Score.
Next topic.
Good call.
So, this is quite unknown. I know that not a lot of people know this person.
He's awesome. I met him a couple of times.
I've met him a couple of times. So it's Shiva, how do you say his Mishra? He's going to take on Nesta Bolam for the WBF, which is World Boxing Foundation Australasian light title.
Whereabouts is that?
That is happening, I believe.
Australia.
Yeah, it's definitely in Australia.
Bowl, yeah. Okay.
New South Wales, somewhere in Sydney.
Yep.
So I know that let's talk about Nesta a little bit as the opponent for Shiva. Nesta is he's started off, I think, in South Africa. I don't know if I actually put this record in. Yes, I did actually.
Yeah.
But so he started off in South Africa in 2016. He hasn't fought a lot. He fought a lot, but he fought a lot in 2016, 2017, had a massive break, came back in 2011.
Yeah.
So you never know.
Oh, this is Nesta's record.
Yeah.
Okay.
He fought a big fight in Canada. Again, we're talking about Canada.
10.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11. He had a 5-year break between 2007 and 11. So
10 wins, 1 loss.
Yeah. And then again, he had another massive break between 2011 and 2016. But he came back in 2016, had a couple of fights, and now he's fighting Shiva.
Yeah.
And so 16 between another massive break between 2016 and 2019.
Yeah. Or 2006 to 2016 is 10 years. That's like one fight a year.
Almost, but there was massive breaks in between.
Yeah.
So
even if it's okay.
So let's talk about Shiva. I know we're going backwards and forwards here. Shiva actually, he was actually coming around in the amateurs back in the day. I know that he fought in amateurs for quite a bit, and he made his pro debut against Bo O'Brien. Which I was actually there to judge, and I was actually very surprised because personally I didn't know
the distance.
He went
or split decision.
He lost by split decision, which against Bo O'Brien is actually a bit of a deal because
which means one of the judges gave it to Shiva.
Yes, I think you were actually you were there in attendance.
Yeah,
I think you were the timekeeper, weren't you?
Maybe.
Yeah, I think you were actually.
One of my first events that I was helping to officiate.
Yeah, I think it's like we had a bit of
2018.
We left I think Auckland that day, wasn't it? We went down.
By here too. Oh, yeah.
Didn't we leave at 7 o'clock and we arrived at like 3 a.m?
Yeah.
We my husband came along and our friend Jigsaw.
What was that? Airbnb. Yeah, my first time at an Airbnb. So split decision.
It was a pretty good house actually.
It was. Boxing. Split decision.
Lost by split decision, but I was very surprised.
Went the distance. Yeah.
I was very surprised by the performance.
Yeah, his debut against someone that had 5 fights and he went the distance. Oh, 6 fights, yes. 6 fights.
And like Bo O'Brien, he's had like he's a former New Zealand champion at the time. Had a minor regional title as well. So Bo O'Brien and losing by a split decision, but like I was surprised this person I didn't know much about just came and brought it to Bo.
Yeah, just came in straight in there, and he's been putting in the hard yards since. So.
And like Shiva, if you don't know, he not only has he been through the amateurs, he's actually from Wellington, so he's a local.
Yeah. then straight into fighting overseas.
And in 2018, again after a bit of a break, he fought an American on Craig Thompson's show and won it by majority decision.
Yeah.
So, and that was a tough fight. I was actually there for Geovana. Geovana was in the main event.
Yeah.
Wasn't it that fight night?
It
was. It was that fight night.
Majority decision said that one of the judges called it a draw.
Yes.
So sometimes they confuse split decision with majority decision, but that's what.
But it was a massive win for Shiva, especially coming from Wellington all the way up to fight an American and defeating the American, which is a big deal. A lot of people thought it was controversial, but just for him to get that win against an international fighter, it's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, get it under your belt.
On a second fight too.
Yeah.
Of course, he's had that one loss this year and went on to win in a big, massive upset against Kyle Freiberg, winning by majority decision.
Okay.
Winning against someone that had 5 fights.
Yeah. 5 wins, was undefeated.
Yeah, undefeated by 5 wins. So
yeah.
Again,
he's fought a couple of undefeated fighters. Oh, 4 of them. Okay.
Yeah.
So straight in there, he's been doing the hard work.
He's been doing quite well.
Yeah, promotes himself on Facebook and shows his progress and shows what sort of grind he's up to.
Yeah.
So bigger and better things.
So this is a pretty interesting fight. So when you go to his opponent who keeps on going away, coming back, he's had a lot of breaks, but he's used to it. You could say, because he's still quite successful by it.
Yeah, he's gone away and come back and got a win. Gone away, come back and got a win. So he puts in the hard yards, or he does the work, and the opponents that he's had aren't losers.
Yeah.
Like the majority of his opponents have had more wins than losses. So they're definitely, acclaimed opponents.
Yeah. So it's going to be a tough one for him, but I think Shiva could actually pull up another upset.
Yep.
I'm fully backing him. He's actually ranked number 1 in New Zealand in the lightweight division. So
he'll be activity. Screams. Just having that experience and staying close to the action.
I think after this fight, Shiva should certainly be interested in a potential fight either against Syed Salam or Nort Bochab.
Oh, nice. Think? Okay, you mean?
That's what I think.
Good for New Zealand boxing?
Yeah, good for New Zealand boxing. Those two are good fights.
Yeah, he'd be open to it as well after fighting Bowyn Morgan in his first fight. So
yeah. Well, that's
check out the weight division.
Well, all these fights were different divisions, I believe, because against Bo was a middleweight division. I think actually at the same time, Darren, the American, was also in the middleweight division, and then he went down to super lightweight and then continuously went lightweight after that.
Okay.
So a rematch with Bo will probably not be realistic since he's now down in those very lighter weights.
Yeah.
But again, maybe a fight with Cairo George.
Yeah, around 70 kg, so under that 70 kg.
Oh no. Cairo George is now in the is a super lightweight now.
Yeah. So low 60s.
The low 60s.
Yeah, but under 70, so that's where he's fighting all under 70 kgs. That's the weight division that we're talking about.
Yes. That would be actually interesting. That was actually a bit of a drop now that I think about it, going from middleweight down to lightweight. So,
when you're dropping close to 10 kgs between, 63 and 73. I know 2 or 3 kgs is quite a lot, so full on.
Okay, next topic, we've got Chase Haley having his rematch against Ali Elrich.
Mean. Hellboy. Awesome.
Hellboy. So we know Chase is originally from Dunedin. He spent some time over in Australia for quite a bit of time.
Solid.
He's also, if you can see, also like his one photo here.
Yeah.
That he's actually won quite a bit of titles.
Yeah, belts on belts.
With kickboxing and boxing.
Yeah.
I think he's stopped doing kickboxing now, mainly focusing in boxing now.
Yeah. Throwing hands, not legs.
And he's not like an easy opponent. He's quite a tough opponent.
Yeah, no, solid.
Yeah.
He's mean.
He's fought. Let's see. He moved over to Australia for a little bit. Fight some good guys over there. Then he fought some fights under what's it called, Ring Star in Singapore. Run a IBO title, won a UBO title. Quite well recognized over there now because of it. And and he's actually had some tough fights against Andre as well.
32, yeah, and went the distance.
Yeah. And like a lot of people thought that, especially Steve Scott, his manager, thought that Andre was going to lose that fight.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Elrich. Oh, so Ali
Elrich.
Ali was a split decision. So that was a draw. So he was undefeated. And then Elrich. Ali hasn't fought since.
I know that this fight was considered quite upset because a lot of people thought that Chase. Sorry, not upset, controversial because people thought Chase won that fight in the draw.
Okay.
I know that Steve Scott was like, "What the f*** was happening there?"
Yeah.
Because he was actually quite confident that Chase won that fight.
Yeah.
He went over to fight in China as well. He lost that fight, but Chase is a very tough fighter. He's a very credible fighter, and I think he could actually go far.
Yeah, lost by majority decision. So one of the judges called it a draw. So he's got the judges on his side. Like they're seeing good things that he's doing. And he's solid enough to go the distance and just bring it to the other fighter. So you've always got to watch out for someone like that. You've always got to watch out and not shy away from defending yourself because he's going to hit you.
So these titles, he's got 2 titles on the line here, which is the World Boxing Foundation International title and the Australasian title.
Super middle, so under 76.2.
Yep, under 76.2.
Okay. KG.
Interesting about the Australasian title, so this is not the WBF Australasian title, this is not the IBF Australasian title, this is the historic Australasian title that happened before this. These 2 sanctioning bodies had it. It's under the Australasian National Boxing Federation.
That people care about?
Well, it's actually got a lot of history.
Oh, okay. That people care about?
People actually do care about this title.
Okay.
Because he's
going for more titles. He's not going to be able to carry that. He's already got 6 belts. Where's he going to be able to... He's going to have to put 1 round each leg. Okay,
yeah.
Cool, we've got that covered.
The thing... the last time a New Zealander has won the Australasian title, I think, not confirmed, but I think it was Shane Cameron.
Oh, okay, awesome. Okay, well, keeping it close to home, that makes sense.
I think that was 2002,
now it fits in 2002.
But there's been a lot of Kiwis that have won that title, but the last one was Shane Cameron. So I'm looking forward to seeing who will actually take home that title.
Yeah, bring it home. Okay.
So yeah, and that is it. That is the last topic for today.
That is quality over quantity. Got there in the end. That was a lot easier than what I was expecting with Mr. Controversy.
Mr. Controversy.
Yeah, you just never know what's going to come up these days.
You never know what comes out of my mouth or goes in.
Yes.
Stop it, Kendall. You're so inappropriate.
Stop it. You're inappropriate.
You're inappropriate. So, all right.
Keeping you in line.
Yeah, keeping me in line. So next week, we're hoping to get more news in.
Again?
Yes.
More. Oh my God. Any questions? Fire them through.
Yeah, it's going to be the Halloween special next week.
What don't we know? Okay.
What don't we know?
Yeah.
Or ask us a question that we do know.
Yes. So we don't just make up an answer for a hypothetical situation. In our world, in Benji's world.
Actually, no, there was one more.
Keep it down. No, there wasn't.
There was one more discussion. You twat. You're trying to hide it from me. All right, one more discussion. Why New Zealand boxers identifying as Australians?
Totally their choice. How you identify, done. Sorted. Covered.
No. So, what I've realised over the last...
lollies. Yep.
You want lollies? Okay.
What you've noticed? No, I don't.
So I've noticed that recently that over the last few years that New Zealand boxers or New Zealanders are going over to Australia and they would rather be known as Australians in New Zealand, especially on BoxRec. A list of boxers here: Tyson Turner, who's a kickboxer who's also a boxer, Willis Meehan, which I can actually understand him identifying as Australian because I think he's actually grown up there, but he was born in New Zealand. Benjamin Callagher, thank you. Will Nasio, Floyd Mason, Alex Hannon. Now I can't pronounce her name. Nika Johnson.
Yeah.
Johnson. Laura Eagle.
You did really well.
Yeah. Thank you. Laura Eagle, I'm not entirely sure 100%. It's WBA Oceania say she's a New Zealander, but I'm not actually 100% sure. And Solomon Haumono. Cool. From an interview that we did with Alex Hannon, he said that he moved over to Australia because of the fact that he believed there was more competition in Australia and better quality in Australia.
So he moved over as an adult?
I think he was still...
I think he can make the decision.
Yes, yeah.
He chose to move over there and look after himself and promote himself, or
yeah. But you know, some of them believe that is a good viable reason why to move over to Australia, because they think that there's more competition and better quality over there. Which
and there'll be more opportunities if you're there promoting yourself as an Australian. Then people are going to be more accepting of putting you on the card, giving you opportunities.
At the same time, some of them believe is that if they identify as a New Zealander, that they won't be in line for Australasian title, which is, I can confirm, not 100% true.
Okay.
Because there are some Australians that were actually some New Zealanders that actually live over there that identify as a New Zealander but still win an Australian title.
Okay.
There's also...
Oh, the Australian title, not Australasian.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can always go for the Australasian.
But
you can be a New Zealander going for an Australian title.
If you live in Australia.
If you live there, okay.
And you can still be rated in New Zealand, and, if you're just as long as you're living over there.
Yeah.
So, it's a big discussion. Some people call it controversial because, like, some people believe that's like, abandoning New Zealand, or, disrespecting a New Zealand name. This, like, you would rather be known as Australian than a New Zealander.
Yeah, but do what works for you.
Yeah, I know that Herman, the Herminator, he was born in Samoa, but he actually brought up in New Zealand, and now he's in Australia. So I don't know which side he would identify with. But also on the other side of the argument, you can look at Samoan boxers coming to New Zealand, and being ranked in New Zealand instead of Samoa.
Yeah, and they can say what they want.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say anything against it.
But you don't want to...
Yeah, no, it's fine. Yeah, whatever.
What's your opinion about it?
No, I'm all good with it, so whatever.
He doesn't want to be part of the controversy.
Yeah, no.
It's like, no controversy. No. I gave you cookies and mints.
Yeah, you'd find what works for you, and if it makes sense. And then... Yeah, so it's just about when he comes back. Like, when they come back, there could be like that grace period. It's like, no, you said you're Australian, so why are you now saying you're Kiwi? And it's like, if you're living here, wherever it's your choice of how you identify. And if you're born here and you come back here, then you can say you're New Zealander.
Yeah.
But even if you're, were born in Australia, and then I think it's normally you're there for like 2 years before you can change.
There's a good
residency or that sort of thing. Like,
I know that Chase Haley, he did live in Australia, and he was under the Australian rankings.
Yeah.
But as soon as he moved back to New Zealand, he put himself he was under New Zealand rankings from that point onwards.
Yeah.
So there was that, as you said, that it depends if they go over B and then come back, transfer back over.
I think there's a time period that qualifies you more strictly, like you're there for a couple of years before you say that you are that. But if you want to identify as either, then...
Well, I don't particularly agree with Alex Hannon's decision. Yes, I can understand there's probably more competition in Australia, but better quality, I'm not 100% sure. There could be more better quality gyms there, but not overall. Not every single gym is better than New Zealand gym.
Yeah, we've got quality over here, but there'd be more fighters over there.
Yes,
so there's
there
a
would be
higher
more
chance of stumbling across.
Yeah,
but
I'm looking forward for the eventuation of Alex Hannon versus Andre Mikhailovich.
You'll see if it happens.
I want that to happen
next year.
They both hate each other.
Did you? No, they don't.
They do.
No, they don't.
They've called each other out multiple times online.
Did they? Did you put that on your list of fights that you want to see? Because if you didn't, then it's not going to happen. So,
Actually, yes, I have. I have. I've put on my list of fights I've wanted to see, and I've made two polls on who do you think will win against those two, and both times Alex Hannon won.
Okay.
But we disagree with that. Now the episode is finished.
Now it is.
Now we've ended by controversy.
Glad to be here, and now that's a wrap.
That's a wrap. Oh, yeah. Well, catch us maybe this time next week. We don't know. All right. Have a good day. Happy Sunday.
On to it. See ya.